A to Z with Mark Zinno, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, where today I tell you, don't write history just yet. Welcome in. We are live here on this Wednesday and a jam-packed show for you. So much to get to. Top segment of this show brought to you by our friends at Sports Card Investor. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On ATL. Of course, I'm at Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. Coming up on the show, the most appropriate listing of who Georgia should play coming up with the schedule changes. We'll get to that as well. What are the Hawks doing? Are they late to the party? We'll find out here coming up shortly. But I want to start at the top here with the Atlanta Braves. Of course, they beat the Philadelphia Phillies last night 5-3, but a struggle, but they end up coming out on top. Of course, no Kensley Jansen anymore. He's on the IL. So we'll see how they navigate through this. But, you know, manifestly, the game didn't matter. It wasn't the story for the Braves yesterday. What was the story, however, is that Dodgers first baseman, former Braves first baseman, Freddie Freeman, has looks like he's firing his agency, Excel Sports Management, and his agent, Casey Close, because he is upset about the way things went down after the weekend against the Braves and how emotional it was. He's upset at his agent for the way things went down, and I guess still wants to be an Atlanta Brave. And while we can sit here and part and parcel how things should have went down, and we'll go over the kind of flow of here in a second, but at the end of the day, I think two things are paramount. One, Freddie's emotional. Two, he's trying to blame somebody else for something he did. And we'll get to that here, but let's just go back and rewind how it all went down. The Braves made Freeman a 5-year, $135 million offer, right? And then his agent, Casey Close, went back to Alex Anthopoulos and presented two offers to the Braves that were well north of $135 million and said, okay, you have an hour to either match one of these deals, accept one of these deals, whatever it is. The Braves came back and bumped it up to $140 million, which is still nowhere near close. And Freeman and his agent at that point in time said, oh, okay, we're not doing this. And so Alex Anthopoulos wisely assumed that one of those two offers that he had out there was an offer, a solid offer from another team. So Alex Anthopoulos said, we can't wait. He goes and executes the Matt Olson deal, signs him to a 8-year, $168 million contract. And Freddie Freeman was left holding the bag. And the bag was money. And so that was that. And it was over and done with. Dodgers come in, they give him his 6-year, $160 million deal, and, here we are. And so, while I don't think that there was a lot of emotion, I think there was a lot of emotion around the last weekend. What I don't think we should do is write the story yet that Freddie Freeman made a mistake, that the Braves made a mistake, that somehow they should have figured this all out. I think this is all going to work out 100% for the Braves. I think the Braves definitively made the right move. I think you don't overpay guys who are over 30, regardless of Freeman's production ability. I think it's just bad juju. I think the Braves provided themselves with a lot of roster flexibility and a lot of ability to continue to add pieces down the road. The Dodgers are always going to be good. The Dodgers are always going to spend money. So it's a different scenario, whether they made the right move or the wrong move. If they made the wrong move, if Freddie ends up falling off here terribly, it doesn't matter to them. They can fix it. That's not the case for the Atlanta Braves, who are on a budget. So I 100% think the Braves made the right move. But what I really think is going on right now with Freddie Freeman is something I think we can all understand. I'll get to that in a minute. But first, a word from our friends at Sports Card Investors. And whether you're a casual card collector looking for exciting alternative investment opportunities, the free Sports Card Investor app has something for you. Breakout stars, prospects debuting, you can check and find the value or great deals on all of their cards. Players like Adley Rushman. You can get the nostalgia of old players, go back in time and see how much your favorite old cards are worth. And if you're interested in getting into sports cards, find great deals on your favorite players. This is a way to figure out, if you're a sports card collector, what you have in your hands and what they're all worth. I know I have a bunch of old cards I can download the Sports Card Investor app, figure out what they're worth and if there's anything there. So you do the same. Download the Sports Card Investor app today. It's available for free in the Google Play and Apple app stores, or go to sportscardinvestor.com/locked on, because all of our Locked On users are going to get a special deal with downloading the app. Okay. Freddie Freeman, no longer part of the Braves. And what happened the last weekend to me and where he is right now is something I think we can all understand. Let's go back to a time in your life where you had a breakup with a significant other, and it was a rough breakup. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like fighting, arguing, but it was just like one of those emotional breakups where you couldn't come to a resolution about the way forward. You couldn't come to a unified ground on where you both wanted to be 3, 5, 10 years from now, whatever it is. And the breakup happens. It's emotional. You cry. You're upset. You can't figure out what happened. You get angry. You're in denial. You go through the stages of grief. You go through all of that. And then you get over that initial shock of the whole thing, and you start to move forward in your life. And then there's a happenstance meeting between the two of you. You both end up in the same place at the same time. And it's one of those things where for you, your heart skips a beat, your eyes bug out, like you can't believe that they're there, and whoa. And your chest is pounding, you don't know what to do, and your ex walks over and they say hello and they give you a hug, and for a moment it feels great, and then all these emotions start rushing back. Did we do the right thing? Should we have broken up? Are we supposed to stay together? This felt right, and I can't believe that I did this. And you're just overwhelmed, and you're thinking and thinking and overthinking and now analyzing, and it's paralysis by analysis. It's all those things. You just can't figure it all out. And you're starting to question whether you did the right thing. And then guess what? That moment passes again. And then 6 months, a year down the road, you meet somebody else, and guess what? You realize it was the right move. What I found was better. And I'm not sitting here saying what Freddie Freeman's better than others. What I'm saying here is that there's a lot of emotion involved in this right now, and there shouldn't be any emotion involved in business. It's that simple. Freddie Freeman may figure out down the road he's in a better spot, that it was the right thing, that it all worked out. And I think the Braves 100% are in a better spot. It's sad that they lost their star, the guy that they drafted, the guy that they brought up to the minors and all that, whatever. I don't play into the emotion of that whole thing. This is a business decision, and I think the Braves made the right business decision for what they needed to do at the moment. And I'm here in New York with the family, and I keep seeing the New York Post is even writing stories about, how the Yankees should be cautionary. It should be a cautionary tale with the Braves and Freddie Freeman, and don't do the same thing with Aaron Judge. And I'm sitting here telling every Yankee fan I know, if the Yankees win a World Series this year, let Judge walk. Let him go. It's okay to break up. It's okay to split. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't. It's something that very much easily can be fixed. So, I don't think that what is going on with Freddie Freeman right now is uncommon, and I understand the emotions under all it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have emotions about it, but man, you got to get away from it. You haven't even been with the Dodgers for 6 months yet. You haven't even been in a playoff race with the Dodgers yet. You haven't even, nothing is, it's a little early. You're still in that emotional phase wondering, and the meeting, the happenstance meeting was a little too close to when it was, any chance to get settled in the new relationship that you're in. And while I'm not going to be a relationship expert here, I'm just going to say that I think it all worked out for all parties involved, and we'll see that down the road. All right, coming up next, the SEC football schedule is changing. Now, I understand geographic boundaries and everything else, but what the real Georgia schedule should look like from a purely football standpoint, we'll do that next right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast, search Locked On Sports Atlanta. We'll be right back.